Hi, my name is LaFayette Mitchell. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I've been working with autism spectrum, Asperger's, and other hypersensitivity disorders for over a decade. My style is a bit quirky and it's different for many parents, but what they learn over time is that I'm very effective with their children, typically. I tend to have breakthrough. They listen to me when they don't listen to others. I'd like to share with you some of what it is that I've been teaching parents for a very long time, and it's really been helping them to improve the way they communicate and relate to their children. If you or someone you know is struggling with difficult or upsetting behaviors to others at home, school, or work, just interacting with others overall, or social anxiety, or if you're sensitive to sounds, tastes, textures, things that typically people aren't upset by, then the LaFayette way is your solution. What I'd like to talk about today is what I call ASPE traits. People ask me all the time, okay, what does ASPE traits mean? I mean the traits that are very similar to this diagnosis called Asperger's disorder. And Asperger's disorder, it was formerly a part of the autism spectrum, but now they're trying to create a separation because they're recognizing now that some of the higher functioning kids who are diagnosed as Asperger's, they're able to separate themselves from some of maybe the lower functioning kids who they're saying are on the autism spectrum. So they're not thinking, hey, I'm a bit more advanced than this other kid over here. I don't quite fit into this mold. So I want to try to create that separation, and not to say that there's anything wrong with either, but I want people to understand truly that there are a bunch of kids out there that they do have sensitivities that do require accommodation, and they do require a little extra care on people's parts and consideration so that they can work with them appropriately. So today I'm going to discuss six of the top traits, six of the ones that stand out the most for people. And keep in mind, the diagnosis may or may not be, autism spectrum or Asperger's, and it may not need a diagnosis. It may just be that you need to understand that there are ASPE traits on board so that you can deal with them in a certain way, which I'll work with you on. The LaFayette way teaches you all about it. If you or someone you know, and this is all for you or someone you know, okay, they're dealing with, issues with extreme impulsivity, with that 0 to 60 anger, that it's just like 1 second they're not upset, the next second they are like on full tilt, okay, then you might want to take into consideration that there may be some things going on there in the hypersensitivity area. If you deal with someone who's on their own agenda all the time, or they're told they're very selfish, or they have tunnel vision, or they can't focus on anything except for the things that they want to focus on, then this is also another trait that I call an ASPE type trait, and it's very common to hypersensitive children. Concrete or black and white thinking. I know not everybody understands what concrete thinking means, so it's just pretty rigid thinking, can't take jokes or sarcasm or that kind of thing. If you notice that they're overreactive when you're trying to just kind of tell a little joke, be a little sarcastic, then just remember that it may be that they're a concrete thinker. They may be taking what you're saying quite literally. Another big one is sensory integration issues, okay? So sensory issues, basically. Sensory issues can include all the senses, anything that can attack the senses. You may have someone who's sensitive to tags on their clothing, maybe only want to wear a sock on one foot. Someone who, when a dog barks or a loud motorcycle drives by, it startles them a little bit more than it should, or you think it should, because for them it's a real experience. Like, just because you don't experience it that way doesn't mean that they don't get to experience it that way, and you just respect that. Or can't eat lots and lots of different kinds of food because they don't like either the texture, the taste, or whatever is going on with that. All those things are included in the sensory issues. The next trait is difficulty recognizing social cues, okay, or expressing social or showing social cues. Basically, they may have more of the flat affect. So a lot of times people think, hey, this kid doesn't like me, doesn't care about me, doesn't care about what I'm saying, because they kind of don't have that big responsiveness. Like, some people are, like me, are very animated, like, oh yeah, really? And there are some, by the way, just so you know, just because a person has ASPE traits doesn't mean that they have every single one in there. So there are some ASPEs that can be very expressive, and there are some who can be very not. And for those who are very not, if you're recognizing in someone that they're not responding to you in a way that you think that they should, then don't just automatically judge that as they're conceited or they don't like you. Another trait that's very common is struggles with transitions or changes in structure. It seems like there's something just a little bit over the top in their reactions when it's coming time for a change. of any kind. Even if it's, you know, dinner time used to be 5 o'clock and now, on this day you had to have it at 6 or 7 and there's a big reaction. Just understand there may be an issue there with some, struggles with changes in routine and transitions. There's a helpful video on YouTube called My Autism by George. If you're looking to deal with something, to learn more about the experiences of someone who is hypersensitive, who may be on the autism spectrum, then this video is extremely helpful because he gets in depth and this kid is like on top of it. Like, he understands so much about himself. Like, the video literally made me cry when I saw it because I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like the stuff I've been trying to share with people for years, and he's like coming from his own perspective, sharing it with everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay you and stay true.